Hello my friends and welcome to today's video. Yes, I finally watched Game of Thrones Season 8 Episode 1 and I am here to share my thoughts with you just like I told you I would be. Yes, and I of course have my notes because I have so many things to talk about. Yes, but before I begin, I'd like to let you know that if you're a Game of Thrones fan and you still haven't had the chance to watch the first episode yet, I suggest you do so before watching this video because it will be full of spoilers since I'm talking about what happened and the impressions it left me with, how I felt and all these nice things. Yes, that's what I wanted to tell you, so let's begin because we have a lot to talk about. Okay, first things first, the opening scene that shows the little boy running, in Winterfell. I really like that because it reminded me of Bran running, back then in the first season when King Robert was arriving. Yes, I really liked that. It was nice, and then we see Jon and Daenerys arriving at Winterfell and the whole army, their army and everything, and we get to see how people react to that arrival, the Northerners, and I have to say that Daenerys didn't have very, warm welcome in the North. Yes, and it was nice to see the reactions of the actors, and their facial expressions and everything. Yes, and Jon explaining to Daenerys what's going on with the Northerners and all these things. I like that, and I of course like that we see Arya in the line and she sees so many familiar faces, and you can see by her expressions her feelings. Her facial expressions represent her feelings. It was so nice because she's seeing Jon and she has a more calm expression, and then she sees the hound. Oh my god, yes, and yeah, we also see how people see Missandei and Grey Worm, that they are a bit not a bit, they're something different that they haven't seen before. Yes, I like that. And then we moved, inside with all the lords and the ladies of the north and Sansa, and I liked the exchange between Sansa and Daenerys. Sansa is a bit, of a badass, if I may say, in this season and previous season as well. Yes, I really like her character. I like that, how they look at each other and everything, the introduction they had. And of course, I have to say that this episode was the episode of the reunions. There were so many reunions going on. Yes, I liked it, of course. And we have, speaking of reunions, we had Sansa and Tyrion and their exchange later in the episode. It was interesting, and how, she tells him that, oh my god, you trusted Cersei. I thought you were, cleverer than that, basically. I really like that. And again, speaking of Cersei, we saw what happened to King's Landing. We see the Golden Company arriving. And the commander, I don't remember. I'm terrible with names, in real life as well. So imagine how hard it is for me to keep up with all the Game of Thrones characters and their names. But yeah, anyway, the commander, I don't remember his name, but we see him introducing himself later on to Cersei with Euron, who had as a captive Yara, yes, that's her name in the show. Yeah, and we had the nice exchange with Cersei and Euron, and to be honest, while they were talking, I thought that, she wouldn't allow him to go to her room, but she did. Anyway, I was expecting her, to be stronger and resist for a while and keep it until later on, most likely, but she didn't. It's okay, what can you do? Yes, a bit of disappointment there, but it's okay. And you see, when he tells her, Euron I'm gonna make you a little prince or something like that. She's thinking about Jamie and their baby, obviously, and everything. I like that. She's an amazing actress as well. I really like that. And of course, we saw this scheming and plotting when Bron has his moment. You know, he was having a bit of fun and he was interrupted by Qyburn. And Qyburn asked him basically, you know, to kill Tyrion and Jaime when they come back to King's Landing. I was like, oh, that's, you know, a bit of a psychological game right there, because he was both serving Tyrion and Jaime in the past, or, you know, they were friends. He was training with Jaime when he lost his hand. Yes, and you could see in his face that Bron is also debating with, you know, his feeling and what he has to do. Yes, anyway, but I don't know, that was interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. And what else? Oh, yes, of course, while we're still in King's Landing, we see Theon saving Yara. Yes, and it was a nice moment there, and love between siblings, because she kicks him first or something like that, and then she punches him, if I'm not mistaken, and then she gives him, you know, a helping hand to stand up, and they leave King's Landing. And that was one of the moments I really liked of the first episode, when they were talking. You know, Yara and Theon, and she was telling him her plan about the Iron Islands. Yes, which I agree with her, I have to tell you, but anyway, and you've seen Theo's, again, excuse me, in Theon's eyes, how he would like, you know, to be with the Starks, and you see it in his eyes, and Yara understands it as well, and she lets him go. That was a really nice moment. I really like that, and you can see, you know, he still feels guilty for betraying the Starks. Yes, Theon is a very tragic character, I believe, both in the show and the books, and I really like, you know, reading and watching his character's arc development. You know what I mean? Yes, I really enjoy him, so I really like that moment, I have to admit. And next, what do we have? No. I'm going through my notes, yes, because I have a lot. Oh, yes, of course. Again, another big moment of the episode, a moment I really enjoyed. Jon and Daenerys being in front of the dragons, and then Rhaegal is almost, you know, asking, is like asking Jon to ride him, and he does. That was a very beautiful scene. You see him, you know, just riding Rhaegal. Really nice nod again to who Jon is, you know, Rhaegar's son. Yes, and they fly, and it was a beautiful scene. I really liked it, and then they land in a place that again reminded me of the place that Jon and Ygritte have been, you know, the cave or something like that, but it was somewhere in the north, maybe the Bear Island, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. I really liked that moment, yes, and the dragons looking at them. Really enjoyed the dragons part, because dragons are really cool. Let's face it, yes, it's one of those elements that Game of Thrones has, and we love, of course. Yes, how did I forget to mention this? I can't believe it. And what else did I want? Oh, yes, of course. The other scene I would like to talk about, which was very emotional to me, and I really liked, and I was like, oh, no. It was the exchange between Ser Jorah, Dany, and Sam. Oh my god, because she goes there to thank him for saving Jorah, who is so, you know, loyal to her, and she trusts him and loves him, obviously, not in the way Jorah would like to have been loved, but she loves him. Yes, and then she says thank you, and when they say the name, she realizes what she has done, you know, that, oh, yeah. I burned your father and your brother alive. And then that information sinks in to Sam, and he starts being emotional, and I was emotional as well, guys, because come on, Sam, who doesn't love Sam? I love this character, yes, I really love him, and I was so emotional and feeling sorry for him. Oh my god, the noise again. Anyway, yes, and I was feeling so sorry for him, and I was about to cry, really, really poor Sam. And then, he needed his time to go outside and, take probably a bit of fresh air, and he runs into Bran, and then he asks him something like, what are you doing here? And Bran says, I'm waiting for a friend. And I was like, Jamie. That's Jamie for sure. Yes, and then they talk about it, and Bran tells him how he must tell Jon because he's not his brother anymore. It was a nice exchange there as well, and that's what Sam does. Another great scene of the episode. That they go to the crypts of Winterfell, and he talks to Jon. Oh my god, that moment was emotional as well. You can tell I was a bit emotional yesterday, which I preferred, being shocked and almost having a heart attack with the Game of Thrones episodes. Anyway, so you see there Sam telling Jon who he really is, and Jon being in denial in the beginning, but he's trying to understand, and I think he gets it. But it was so nice. Kit Harington did a great job the way he received the news. His character, the character he's portraying, received the news. Yes, and it was so nice to see it, and I loved the fact that the first thing he said, are you telling me that my father was lying to me for my whole life? Something like that. He's the most honorable man I have ever known. Ned Stark, again, because that's the only father Jon knew, the only father figure, and Sam tells him, no, he was not lying, he was, but in order to protect you. That was so emotional as well. I loved this scene, and I can only wonder what's going to happen next, and how he's going to react to this news when, he thinks of it again, and how his relationship with God. I don't know. They are having a motorcycle race, probably. Excuse me. Yes, and I really, really would like to see what's happening from now on. Yes, very interesting. Crypts of Winterfell, emotional moment. I like that as well. And then we go to the other boys, the other group of guys, Tormund and Beric. They're somewhere in the north, walking slowly. We saw that they survived the fall of the wall. I really liked that. I was hoping for that. Yes, and everything that happened, the destruction. Yeah, they survived, and now we see them somewhere. They're really scared, and they are waiting for White Walkers to come anytime. Yes, and then they are lurking in the corners. They hear a noise, and they see the other boys from the Night's Watch. That was the funny moment. I had a laugh when he said, he's got blue eyes, and Tormund says, I've always had blue eyes. That's where I laughed in the episode, and that moment, and the exchange between, Arya and Gendry, that was cute too. I forgot to mention it. Yes, that was a nice moment too. Those two moments I had to laugh a bit. It was nice. And then it was the shocking moment of the episode, because until then I was wondering, where is the shock factor that the Game of Thrones is known for, that we all know and love? And there it was. We see the little boy, Ned Amber. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mixing his name again, but I think that's his name, that he was sent, to call some lords. The poor guy got into some White Walkers, unfortunately, and you see that they have the symbol again, and he's in the middle, his body is in the middle with the symbol they keep making throughout the seasons, and when they're getting close, I'm like, oh my god, he's going to wake, and that's what happened. I was like, I cannot. Yes, and they burned him, of course, like they had to do, but they said that we don't have time, we're probably between Winterfell and the White Walkers, or our destination and the White Walkers, we have to hurry and hope we will not be dead. Really, really like that, the shocking moment. Yes, and last but not least, the last scene, and which I enjoyed as well, of course, Jamie arriving at Winterfell. I was like, oh, that's my boy Jamie, because he's one of my most favorite characters, both in the series and the books. Jamie, I really like his story and his development and everything. He arrives and he takes a look, he takes off his hood, and Nikolai, he's such a good looking and charming man. Yeah, I have to tell you, he is. Anyway, great choice there, if you ask me. And Jamie looks around and he sees Bran, who is cool, relaxed, cold, like Bran is nowadays. Yeah, and he's shocked, he's shocked. Really, really good acting of Nikolai's part, excuse me, as well. Really, really nice. And that's where the episode ends, and we see the trailer for the next episode, and my boy Jamie is going to have a hard time with Daenerys is so angry, and I'm wondering what's Brienne going to do for that. And then we see they don't have time, and Gendry's working like crazy to forge some more dragon glass weapons, and the battle begins. I cannot wait for the next episode. I really like the first one, and yeah, those were pretty much my thoughts. That's what I wanted to tell you. Please, what I would like you to do, leave me a comment with your impressions and your thoughts. What did you like the most, what you didn't. Yes, let me know. I'm looking forward to making the next video, and of course watching the next episode. And as always, if you like this video, like it, because you help me see what you like, and you help me continue with this, but I enjoyed making this one, so I hope you like it, so I will keep on making them. Now that I started, I cannot stop. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed it, and of course, in case you wish to subscribe to my channel and support, you can always do so, by finding the little bubble with my face in it. Click on it and it will subscribe you to my channel. That's it, my friends. I will let you go and edit this video so you can watch it. And what else did I want to tell you? Oh yes, that I will be seeing you very, very soon, before the next Game of Thrones related video on Friday, with my usual music or anything else related video. Thank you so much, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me your comments. Let's continue the conversation down below. Have a great day or night, wherever you are and whatever you are doing. Bye.